2024. I'd like to recognize Councillor Handley, Councillor Garrett, Councillor Hoban, Councillor Whipple, Councillor McKay, Councillor Christensen, and Councillor Bogdan. We are also delighted to have Mayor Michelle Kafusi. The opening prayer will be delivered by Dave Baer.
Our Father in heaven, we come before thee this day and thank thee for the opportunity we have to enjoy the blessings of democracy and to be in such a great city. We're grateful for the proceedings that will be taking place, and we ask thee to help us to be mindful of the citizens of this city and to be kind to those who are here. We ask thee to bless us with thy love, and this we say in Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Mr. Baer.
Recording in progress.
At this time, we'll ask that everyone please rise for the presentation of the colors.
Ready, halt. Ready, face. Present, arms.
We'll have the Pledge of Allegiance by Craig Christensen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
March.
Right, you can all be seated. All right, we have an opportunity for a police badge pinning service, and this will be presented to us by our chief, Troy Beebe.
Council, Mayor, thank you for the time to do this. We appreciate you all. The Provo Police Department is a department of tradition and ceremony. Today, we gather to celebrate a time-honored tradition that carries significance in law enforcement, the badge pinning ceremony. This moment marks a milestone in the lives of those who have chosen the path of protecting and serving our community. The badge itself is not merely a piece of metal. It is a symbol of dedication, a commitment to uphold justice, and a pledge to stand against adversity. It is the symbol of public trust. As we pin these badges on the chests of our deserving officers, we're not just adorning them with a physical emblem. We're acknowledging the weight of responsibility they willingly shoulder. I would add the weight and responsibility their families willingly shoulder, having them wear that badge. Receiving a badge as a police officer embodies a profound responsibility. It symbolizes the trust placed in an officer by its citizens to uphold the law, ensure justice, and safeguard their liberties. The badge serves as a reminder to make selfless sacrifices to ensure and accept the exceptional care of our exceptional community. It is a true honor to wear. We'll start with Nick Bird. We'll bring your pinner forward. Nick comes to Provo from Georgia. He enjoys the outdoors and loves taking his camera into nature. When he's not doing wildlife landscape photography, he is playing any sport. Nick has always known that he wanted a career that can help people and make a difference in their lives. He joined the military in 2020 and is currently serving as a sergeant with the Army National Guard. His experience in the military helped him to become a law enforcement officer, and he's eager to serve the citizens of Provo. Carter Burgoyne, please come forward. I have the honor to play proxy for Carter's father, who's with us via FaceTime. So. I will say that that is a true honor to play proxy for that type of a commitment. And so I want your dad to know, thank you. Carter is from Minnesota, but has also lived in California, Virginia, and North Carolina. In his 11 years with the Marine Corps, he holds a bachelor's degree in Homeland Security, a master's degree in counterterrorism, and a master's degree in criminal investigation. Carter enjoys serving his country while in the Marine Corps and looks forward to serving the city of Provo and working to make it a better place to live for all. Stephen Douglas. Stephen will be pinned by retired San Jose PD Sergeant Wayne Jones, neighbor and friend. Stephen is a recent transplant from Southern California, having served as a police officer for the San Diego Police Department from 1986 to 2006, then lateraling to Riverside Sheriff's Department, where he served as a deputy until his retirement this year. Stephen and Ann Maria, his wife of 42 years, relocated to Utah for retirement, but he realized he was not ready for retirement. Stephen and Ann Maria have 2 adult children. Mitchell Harding, you come forward with your father, Gary Harding. Mitchell has grown up in several parts of the country. He was brought to Provo to attend college, where he is pursuing a bachelor's degree in national security. Mitchell had a chance to work with Provo police regularly and saw the camaraderie in the department. The atmosphere of the Provo Police Department led Mitchell to join and to continue providing a service to the people of Provo. Caleb Travis, be pinned by his wife, Brooke. Caleb is originally from Atlanta, Georgia, and moved to Provo to attend school. Caleb is driven to help and serve others, and is excited to serve the people of Provo and the surrounding areas. I would like to invite Heidi Allman, the city recorder, to administer the oath.
Thank you, Chief.
So if you guys can all just raise your right hand and you'll just repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Utah, and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity. Congratulations.
I'd like to again thank the council and invite the families and all to meet in the community room just across the hall. And thank you, guys.
That is one of my favorite things we get to do, and it makes me emotional every time. We have exceptional people that serve Provo, and we are grateful for all of them. If anyone missed it, there was a reception for them in the community room, so please feel free to go. All right, we're going to go on to the Employee of the Month, and this will be presented by the Mayor, Michelle Kafusi.
All right, Chairman Kay and Vice Chair Whipple and members of the Municipal Council. Today, we have another exciting opportunity to recognize an employee who has demonstrated exceptional care for our exceptional community. I'm happy to introduce our HR Director, Daniel Softly. So come on up, Daniel, who will be presenting January's Employee of the Month award to an outstanding individual in our Human Resources Department. So on that note, I'll give you the floor.
Thank you very much. It is my absolute privilege to introduce Trista Bird as Employee of the Month for, I guess we're in January. Trista, are you coming up?
I might have her come up.
Trista has almost 30 years of professional experience in local government, including the last 4 years as a payroll professional for Provo City. And I think it's important to acknowledge that she actually got off to a bit of a rough start with Provo City. On her very first day of work, it was the exact same day that they essentially shut down the state of Utah. put in significant COVID restrictions on March 16th, 2020. And then 2 days later, the 5.7 earthquake struck, and we had to send everybody home for real fear that the building was coming down on top of us. So I was a little worried that we'd hired a bad luck charm. But she's turned out to be an amazing hire. In fact, whenever I try to remember how long she's been here, she always reminds me that it was the day that COVID hit. Trista is currently the city's payroll administrator. She's responsible for ensuring that all employees are paid correctly in a timely manner and in accordance with tax law. Now, due to strict deadlines and the need for regulatory compliance, it is not unheard of for payroll staff to have a bit of a hardline negative reputation in an organization. Trista has absolutely avoided this stereotype by having exceptional customer service and communication skills. She's always very pleasant, respectful, and empathetic, and she easily conveys her desire to help the employees. In very simple terms, people love Trista. The city has been very fortunate to have exceptional people in the payroll position for a very long time. And I actually want to diverge just a tiny bit here, if you'll indulge me. One of the reasons why Trista is so good at her job is she was trained by one of the best. If she's not too embarrassed, I'd like to have Renee Bear stand. Renee Bear. Renee Bear was in the payroll administrator position for 30 years, at least 30 years. She may have even been in there for 35 years. She predates me, and I've been here a while. But the reason I'd like to recognize her is because of her technical skills, but she is also one of the ones who didn't really get a good farewell during COVID. And I think that she deserves it. And I'd like to thank her for all of that. Back to Trista. Trista is a true professional who aspires to always be better. She recently became certified as a payroll professional from the American Payroll Association. This is an exceptionally difficult certification to obtain. Candidates frequently need to retake the qualifying exam. And it is not a requirement of our position. Although it is certainly desirable to have, we do not require it. Trista, nonetheless, took the initiative to become certified so that employees could have confidence in her abilities and her payroll decisions. She attended classes for several months, studied for countless hours, and passed her exam on the very first try. It's an exceptional accomplishment. Trista is a great ambassador for Provo City. She's very deserving of this recognition as Employee of the Month. Thank you for your dedication and all that you do for us. Minus.
Just an interesting point for the public. And it's certainly something I wasn't fully aware of before being on the council and having as much interaction as we do with staff, is that we are really blessed in Provo to have exceptional employees. And it's just a huge blessing. They're wonderful, and their compassion and care for the citizens and the pride they take in their job is really inspirational. All right. As indicated on the screen, a required public hearing will be held for certain agenda items prior to council action. After each such item has been presented, time to comment will be provided for all those who wish to speak. For items that do not require a public hearing, public comment will still be taken following presentation of the item, but will be limited to 10 minutes. At this time, up to 15 minutes have been set aside for an open public comment period, which is intended to allow comments on matters that do not appear on the agenda. Persons who speak during this time to an agenda item that is on the agenda will not normally be afforded a second opportunity to speak during the comment period specific to that item. During any public comment period, each speaker will generally be limited to 2 minutes. Due to noticing requirements, no formal action will be taken in this meeting on matters that do not appear on the agenda. Those with comments are invited to approach the podium. Those participating on Zoom will need to use the raise hand feature to indicate they wish to comment. The chair may choose to alternate between in-person and online commenters. Please begin your comments by stating your name and your city of residence, and you'll have 2 minutes to speak. So if anyone does want to make public comment, now is your time.
Hello, City Council members. I stood here a year ago and made some comments after I cried a little bit. And as you may know, my wife of 47 years attempted to walk to the temple on November 15th at 10 o'clock in the morning up on the hill here. And she was struck and suffered greatly with many fractures. She had no pulse, no respiration. And if you don't breathe, you don't have pulse, that means you're dead. But 2 to 4 minutes later, she was able to come back to life. It's been a very long a difficult year for our family. I think in my mind, what can I do to help suggest to the city of Provo to help our citizens? She had a brain tumor removed and many months of recovery. The unaudited expenses on her account is $381,417.56. So I thought, what can I do to suggest to help our great city here? I'm from Texas, and we came up here to help serve people, not to be served. But this idea of a safety vest or project visibility, I was back in Texas last month and I bought this for 49 cents. It increases the visibility from about 22 yards to 55 yards. All I'd like to say is that this would be an idea, a very low cost way of put these around. Permission, there's a street light modification that could be done that could have prevented this probably from ever happening. And if I could persuade one of your city employees, Vern Kessler, to talk about the $15,000 improvement at that intersection, I would really appreciate him to say.
Thank you so much. We know that he's met with you and we know about the situation, and we will be looking at that light change to the lights in the future.
Okay.
At this time, we're not allowed to do things that aren't noticed, but it is absolutely on our radar. And Vern has met with you, correct? Didn't you guys?
Yeah, yes. I'm just suggesting that if the light modification had been there, where there was a
Yes.
delay,
Yep.
that she would have maybe been safe. That's all I'm trying to say.
Totally. Do you know what? We want to fix that and look at the particularly. So we will have a work meeting on that particular item.
Okay. If I don't see anything, I might be back here next year.
Do you know what? We will make sure that we notify you when that does happen.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Can we get your name, sir?
Gary Lindley. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Thanks, Vern.
Hi.
Hi. And if you could just say your name and
Yeah,
city of residence.
my name's Meredith Reed. I live in Provo. I grew up here. I now own a home here. Plan to live here maybe forever. I just wanted to encourage the city council to continue to explore common sense and creative solutions for Provo's dog problem. I support the reasonable civil infraction penalties that were discussed last fall by the city council. The harsh fines without warning and the Class B misdemeanor charges are not the solution and are excessively harsh for these violations. I think to solve our city's dog problem, we can learn a lot from other cities. In my research, I found that some cities have built just more off-leash areas, more dog parks. Some cities have designated off-leash hours at certain parks during times of day when the parks are empty. This actually has improved safety in those cities because it reduces crime and drug deals. The dog owners act as sort of natural citizen patrol. Kirkland, Washington also implemented a public education campaign that reduced dog waste in parks by 80% by placing yellow landscape flags next to the left behind dog waste and setting up signs educating the public. Providing accessible public space for dog owners to gather and to safely exercise their dogs is both good for public health and for creating tighter knit communities. Provo City has invested in various recreational opportunities for its citizens, including the Timpanogos Golf Club, the new sports park. Investing in off-leash areas for dogs and dog parks would follow this pattern, enrich the city, serve many, many citizens. I guess there's probably more dog owners than golfers in the city, and it would help solve the city's safety and dog waste concerns. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Gabby Sabalones. I'm also a Provo citizen, and I'm also here to speak about the off-leash dog concerns. The three of us who are here today, share Provo City's concerns about dog waste, about citizen safety. However, I recently went to court with my friend Karina, who is a single mom studying at UVU, who was facing a Class B misdemeanor charge and a fine of $150 for playing fetch with her dog in an empty park. We had brought this issue to the attention of the administration in a previous meeting and had been advised to seek leniency from the prosecutor. We did so, and I was in the room with Karina when the prosecutor told her that she had been under pressure from the administration to prosecute off-leash dog cases and so would not be able to be lenient and dismiss the charge. Karina walked away with a $120 fine and a probationary period of 1 year before the city would recommend dismissal of her case. Karina's actions put no one in danger. She was not negligent in her duties of dog ownership. She was attentive to her dog. She picked up any poop and had her dog under control at all times. Provo citizens deserve better. Dog owners need to be responsible, but that responsibility includes making sure that your dog has adequate exercise and access to off-leash outdoor time. Currently, we don't have we have only a small inadequate dog park that essentially serves 3 cities. I'm asking the council to continue to search for creative solutions and potentially look for a civil fine structure so that we don't have these harsh penalties. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Crystal Boland. Just like them, I'm here to talk a little bit about the problem that we have with the on-leash ruling. I personally am one of those that actually tends to clean a lot for other dogs, poops and stuff. And so I feel like the on-leash ruling, it's a little bit harsh for those of us that also try to be good citizens. I know it's a problem. I myself have a dog, as you probably guessed. When we are walking, there's times that they just need some space to run. With a leash, it's really hard. I've also implemented, having a long leash with me, a 50 feet long leash to be able to still let him fetch and stuff, but it's becomes problematic because he gets tangled, I get tangled, and we actually end up, having injuries. Again, I just want to see if there's any options so that we can actually have that time to be able to have our dogs have a better place to also play. It's not only just for the dogs, but it's also for ourselves, the citizens of Provo and the cities around us. I don't take my dog specifically to the dog park that we have, even though I live 2 blocks away from it, because it's gross. It's a hazard for them as well. As for myself, I have asthma, so all the sand or gravel that is there causes my asthma to get worse. So I can't do that for my own health as well. So again, I just wish we could do some kind of compromise to be able to have a better outcome for everyone in the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more public comment? All right, we will discuss. This is something that still is going to come up on a future work meeting and stuff. So feel free to watch our agendas. You're welcome to come and sit in on the room when we do have the discussion down the road. Thank you. All right, next, an implied motion on a resolution formalizing the creation of the Council Audit Committee. This will be presented by Justin Harrison.
Good evening, council. So, thanks, Michael. As we discussed a couple of weeks ago in our work meeting, the idea of formalizing the council's audit committee has come up through discussions with council staff and with the recommendations from the state auditor's office and from GFOA. So, I can turn it on and work it. So there's a couple of things coming before you in this item and in the next item that you'll see. So these 2 resolutions and ordinance change will formalize the audit committee, allow you to adopt some governing documents or bylaws. In this case, we're calling them audit and internal audit charters, and then transfer the duties of the internal audit function within the city. So first, the audit committee updates that we discussed in our work meeting include those recommendations from the state auditor's office and GFOA that I had mentioned. Those recommendations include formalizing the audit committee under the purview of the council, transferring duties, and also putting together some formalized governing documents for those bodies. So this was reviewed by the audit committee at their meeting in December, and then at our last council work meeting on January 16th. The audit committee resolution that was in your packet and that will pull up here on the screen shortly does a number of things, obviously formalizes and establishes that audit committee and gives a framework for the committee to work under. It also gives reference to those charters that we had mentioned. So within that charter, I'll just quickly describe what's within that audit committee and internal audit committee charter that are referenced in the resolution. So establishes a mission, composition or makeup of that audit committee. There were recommendations in that work meeting 2 weeks ago for there to be 2 members of the council and at least 2 members of the public. So those changes have been made, and that those terms of service would be 2 years. So those changes have been made and are in the backup material. Additionally referenced in the resolution is the internal audit charter, which again establishes a purpose and states the independence and authority and really responsibilities and what scope that looks like for the audit committee. I'll save that for the next item because we've split them between the resolution and the ordinance, but I know that was quick. Any questions regarding any of the changes or anything regarding the resolution?
Thank you, Justin. Any questions for Justin? All right, I think you're good. We will open this item up for public comment. Seeing no public comment, we will move to council discussion. Any discussion on this item? Councilor Christensen.
So when does this take effect? When would this take effect?
I believe in the resolution, it takes effect upon passage.
So immediately, okay.
Thank you, Justin. We will have a vote on the implied motion. Counselor Bogdan.
Yes.
Counselor Christensen.
Yes.
Counselor Garrett.
Yes.
Counselor Handley.
Yes.
Counselor Hoban.
Yes.
Counselor McKay, yes. Counselor Whipple.
Yes.
And that passes unanimously 7-0. Okay, next we'll have an implied motion on ordinance amending duties regarding internal auditing, also presented by Justin.
All right, this should be even quicker. We've just got one slide. So this is this amendment to the current code in Title II just moves the responsibilities of internal audit from where they currently live within the Finance Division of Administrative Services to the Council Audit. This again is based off of recommendations from the State Auditor's Office and GFOA based on the independence of the different branches of government. So any questions the council has?
Any questions? Thanks, Justin. We'll open this item up for public comment. All right, council discussion. Any council discussion? Just so you guys know, we have talked in depth about this and gone over it many times. All right, we're going to take a vote on the implied motion. Counselor Christensen.
Yes.
Counselor Garrett.
Yes.
Counselor Handley.
Yes.
Counselor Hoban.
Yes.
Counselor McKay, yes. Counselor Whipple.
Yes.
And Counselor Bogdan.
Yes.
That's unanimous, 7-0. Next, we have an implied motion on an ordinance amending Provo City Code regarding the Neighborhood District Program. And this will be presented by Rachel Breen, who is in charge of our Neighborhood District Program and does an awesome job.
Thank you so much, councilors and mayor. So we started the new Neighborhood District Program in January 2023. And so that's been running for a year. And we did a survey and discussions with the Neighborhood District Board members as far as any changes that they wanted to see in the program. And so they did have suggestions for some changes in the code. And so these are the code that I'm going to present to you to see if you approve those changes. Michael, if I can have you bring up the code. Thank you very much. Okay, so one of the things is before it was the boards were made up of 7 to 11 board members. And we would like to change that so there's not a maximum number of board members and that you have at least one and no more than 2 board members from each neighborhood located within the boundaries of the neighborhood district. That way you don't have a lot of people representing one neighborhood. We want to make it more even as far as how many members are from each neighborhood on each board. And the districts vary in size as far as how many neighborhoods. And we did have some proposed changes, so we didn't want to have a maximum on that. So before it was a maximum of 11, but we're just striking that out. So it's still a minimum of 7, but not a maximum, but it wouldn't be more than 2 members per neighborhood for the district. Another thing that they wanted was the ability to serve a consecutive term for the board members. Since the board members are approved by the council, this is something that before it was, if you served, you couldn't serve another term on the board within 12 months of being on the board. And we didn't want to have to really struggle to find board members. And so this is just a way that if someone's willing to serve, and that way you can just appoint them again to another term. It also keeps, these board members have great knowledge of their community, and they're very much an asset to the neighborhood program because of that knowledge. And so it's nice to have that continuous knowledge on the boards. And then the next one change that we had was that it was written in the code that the that they could do motions in their meetings. And it was a little bit of a miscommunication to the residents at the meetings when they heard the word motion. They thought that they could decide something that then was binding with the city or with developers. And so we wanted to change the word motion to opinion polls, which is how we've been saying it in the meeting, is that they're doing opinion polls, not really motions that they can tell someone what they can develop or directing the council or any other body what they can do. But this is more of a way for them to tell their opinion to the council or to city staff as far as what they'd like to see in their community. Another change was we want to change the word communication to endorsement involving political and commercial activities. Communication was a little bit too broad. And so we wanted to more define that as endorsement rather than communication. And then the next part, this is the best part, is we wanted to, the neighborhoods are able to apply for matching grants, which they obtain through service hours. And so it's been really great for Provo to get all this service done in their community and then also get something to beautify their community. And so it's been $5,000 since at least 1994, the amount. So we would like to raise the amount that they're able to earn that matching grant to $7,500. And we're hoping maybe one day get it higher, but we're willing to do this much for right now, which would be exciting in order to do just with the price of goods and like cement and park equipment. It's hard to get anything for $5,000. And then let's see if there was anything else on that. I think that was it. So those were the changes that came from the neighborhood board members. Oh, I always forget. Thank you, Michael. Another change that came from the neighborhood board members was they want to have the Pleasant View neighborhood in with District 1, so it aligns more with the council district. And we wanted to change the university neighborhood with District 5 because of all the students in the university neighborhood kind of having the same, I don't know, like culture as Joaquin and downtown and Mazer neighborhoods. It made more sense that the university be with District 5 and for Pleasant View to be with District 1 and make those changes in the boundaries of the districts.
Awesome. Thanks, Rachel. Any particular questions for Rachel? We'll do discussion. Okay. All right. Thank you. We will now open this item up for public comment. All right. Now council discussion. Councilor Bogdan.
I just want to say that I am, as a person who has tried to use that $5,000 to try to do something for the neighborhoods, it is really hard. So I'm super excited about that.
Councilor Garrett.
Only to say, Rachel, that the work that you do with the neighborhood and district program is highly valued by the citizens of Provo and the leaders and those that engage with you. And just to thank you for your service and work.
I do love that these changes came from the citizens, right? I love that this is a program that is still evolving and that our goal is to make it as useful and as citizen driven as possible. And you're doing that. And I'm so grateful for that. All right, we'll take a vote. We'll call for a vote on the implied motion. Councilor Garrett.
Yes.
Councilor Handley.
Yes.
Councilor Hoban is excused. Councilor McKay, yes. Councilor Whipple.
Yes.
Councilor Bogdan.
Yes.
And Councilor Christensen.
Yes.
So that is 6-0. That's unanimous. Well, folks, if there's no objection, we will now adjourn the Provo Municipal Council meeting by unanimous consent.